Everybody involved with the Parts Canada Superbike Championship and Mosport International Raceway just outside of Toronto are really excited about round 3 of the North American TTXGP series. We think it's a great opportunity. We want to get in on the ground floor. We like what we've seen so far, and the variety of equipment, the technical innovation, the direction this points in terms of motorcycle sport in general and racing in particular, and the diversity, the characters involved, it makes for a compelling on-site action, and it makes for good television, and we think it's pointing in a good direction in terms of racing in general. When there was a lot of publicity available in North America, which was sort of late 2009, the opportunity presented itself, and we were quite happy that TTXGP were interested in coming to Mosport, and didn't want to miss out on our chance to get our foot in the door, to get in on the ground floor, to be involved. Whatever the words you choose are, it's a great opportunity, and we think it's going somewhere. I think the audience for TTXGP will prove to be probably the most interesting element of TTXGP, because obviously it's motorcycle racing, and the hardcore gearhead, go to the race type people are going to want to follow it, particularly as it develops and becomes more competitive. We have more teams. But I think too there's a whole generation of people who maybe wouldn't be as interested in motorcycle sport, but if you combine motorcycle sport and technology and new technology, and obviously everything to do with electric vehicles is brand new, it makes a really big difference. And we think the combination of the traditional fan and the new fan who's maybe looking for a reason to get interested in motorcycle sport, it's a great combination. And obviously technology leads so much of what we do now, the way society works and whatnot, that combining new technology with motorcycling seems like a slam dunk.
So ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the future of road racing around the world. Eventually, as our automobiles evolve through hybrids and into full electric cars, motorcycle road racing will have to go through the same evolutionary path. And you get an opportunity to see the very first electric motorcycle road race here in this country. And it happens right here at Mosport International Raceway on a beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon. Great to have you with us. Pat Gonzalez in the Castrol Tower. Frank Wood up in turn number 2. And Eric Tritko, our American colleague, down at Moss Corner as the preparations continue down there on the starting grid. And this one's scheduled, as we said, for 8 laps. Let's go to Frank Wood for just a moment, and then Eric Tritko.
Yesterday afternoon. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the future of road racing around the world. Eventually, as our automobiles.
Well, Pat, it sounds like Frank is in transit up to turn 2, so I can just tell you in turn 5 we're getting a couple more.
Eric, let's just jump in here. The officials has cleared off of the front of the grid. They come under starters orders. The lights go off, and there is the charge down to turn 1. The big thing you got to get used to here, you're not going to be hearing a whole lot of noise from these motorcycles, just some mechanical noise of the wheels and the chain. But again, the motorcycle road racing series, as they say, zero carbon emission racing. As the electric bikes, it looked as though Barnes from the pole position did grab the early lead as he heads up to turn number 2. And the motor they're using in that number 80 Lightning motorcycle entry actually came out of the EV1. That is the electric car that General Motors had built, and subject of the documentary Who Killed the Electric Car. So it's a real assembly of different technology and a whole lot of innovation among these teams. And I believe Barnes was the leader heading up to turn 2. Let's see if Frank Wood is in position.
Well, Pat, I can tell you actually they're making their way through turn 5 right now, and it is a little eerie to see these motorcycles rolling around with, as you say, very little noise, just the electric whine, almost like a very large RC car, kind of electric RC car kind of thing. And Barnes, very obviously with a lot more power in that, as you said, XEV1 electric motor, as he's already got a good second and a half, 2-second lead over that John Player Special replica bike of Thad Wolf there in second. And you should be seeing Barnes coming into the S's about right now.
And here comes Barnes through the left-hander at turn number 9. Michael Barnes out of Boca Raton, Florida. One of the great American riders on the start-finish straightaway aboard that number 80 machine, looking to go back-to-back after winning at the Road America circuit in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin back in June. There is Thad Wolf on that number 37 machine. The Norton Electra machine running in second. Up into third is the number 15 there, and a problem on the number 15 machine. Michael Hannes, he is slow on the start-finish straightaway. So a bit of a problem there with the Hannes machine. The chassis is based on a Yamaha TZ250. So it looks as though Jennifer Brome out of San Francisco has moved up into that third place position, as Michael Hannes had some kind of a problem coming off of turn number 10. And here is the fifth place rider, Stephen Belknap out of Cincinnati, Ohio, aboard the number 16 machine. That is the square wave entry as he rolls up across the line into turn 1. Let's see if we can catch up with Frank Wood. Frank? And now we get a report that Michael Hannes on the number 15 machine has pulled off the racetrack just past start-finish down into turn number 1. So problems with the number 15 machine. Let's go to Eric Tritko at Moss Corner.
Well, Barnes has gone through as well as Thad Wolf. Third place right now is Jennifer Brome on that on her machine now, just trying to find a comfortable line around Moss is in 5B until she's taking it very, very gently on the bike. Once she gets it pointed in a straight direction, she's definitely cranking that Rorstadt and spinning up the electric motor, building power up on the top end of the track. But Michael Barnes should be coming around turn 10 and right at you, Pat.
Well, he's already past turn 10. I think Barnes is running quicker than he ran here this morning when he was in the minute 37s. Here is Thad Wolf, Thousand Oaks, California rider on that number 37 machine. The Newbury Park, California rider who is one of the top AMA riders back in the early 80s on Superbike and then on the S-Car Go RG500 Suzuki. Thad Wolf in second. And then we've got a gap back to the young lady from San Francisco, Jennifer Brome, on the Mavizin machine. This is the very first Mavizin bike. It is based on an RC8 KTM chassis. The lap on Barnes, 1 minute 35.912 for Michael Barnes on lap number 2. So Barty just continues to set the pace here, 2 seconds quicker than he ran in practice this morning. And here is the number 15 machine that did get rolling again, Michael Hannes out of Santa Rosa, California on the electric race bikes entry. That is the machine based on the Yamaha TZ250 chassis. Looks like he may still be having a bit of a problem. Let's see if we can catch up with Frank Wood at turn 2. Frank.
Now, Pat, we just watched Michael Barnes come through this area just as quietly, just that whistle going through. Barney, of course, up with the Richie Morris Racing Geico Power Sports team last year in AMA Pro Racing, and just one of the pro riders who was not able to secure a ride in petroleum-based motorcycles this year. So it looks like he's these electric bikes and doing very well indeed. We spoke to him before he went out, Pat, and he said, I plan on to win it, and I want to win it by a minute.
Well, he may be on his way to do that through turn number 9. Here comes Thad Wolf on the number 37 machine. The Virginia-based Norton Electra. And up onto the start-finish straightaway. Thad Wolf, his very first trip to Mosport. He says, I learned racetracks pretty quickly. And actually said he spoke to a close friend of his, Dan Gurney, about the racetrack. And Gurney was just raving about Mosport, having run here in cars for many, many years. And Thad Wolf all by himself in that second place position. Lap number 3 of 8 in the books. And it continues to be Michael Barnes, the pole sitter, running away. The lap time earlier was 1:35.912. And we'll see if he's been able to go any quicker. Here is Jennifer Brome out of San Francisco. Native of Germany, who has been living in California for a number of years, a fine club racer from California. She is on the Mavizin machine, running in the 3rd place position. Then we have the gap back to the 4th place machine. That is Michael Hannes out of Santa Rosa, California on the electric race bikes machine. Running in 5th is the 16 machine of Stephen Belknap out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Here is Barnes. It looks like he's going to lap Hannes on that number 15 machine, who's definitely having some kind of a problem. He has slowed here on the start-finish straightaway. So right now, just 3 motorcycles running on the lead lap. Let's go to Frank up in turn 2 as we follow Michael Barnes around this racetrack. He appears to be long gone, Frank. Frank, we're going to jump in here. Looking at Michael Barnes, should be on his way down to Eric Tritko at Moss Corner. Thad Wolf has also lapped that number 16 machine of Stephen Belknap. Eric.
Michael Barnes actually just now through underneath the Mobile 1 sign and moving hard. Jennifer Brome definitely having some issues working her way through and being comfortable here in Moss, is taking it very, very gently. Now we get Michael Hannes coming through. As you said, he's now a lap down, but Barney, as you said, it's cleared way off on this thing. Here comes the second place machine of Thad Wolf now through. Moss is right now into 5B. Thad looking very, very smooth on that Norton Electric. Pat?
Michael Barnes on the start-finish straightaway. That'll be lap number 5 in the books. He's got 3 to go. And he's coming up here on Jennifer Brome, and he is about to lap her, and at that point it'll be just 2 riders on the lead lap. This is a very, very impressive motorcycle. Again, it is carrying an EV1 electric motor that was used in the original General Motors electric car. They did manage to salvage some of those motors, and it has been incorporated into the motorcycle. It is probably the heaviest of the bikes, but definitely with a lot of power. As we look at the number 15 machine running a lap down, that is Michael Hannes in the 4th place position. Here's your 2nd place runner on that number 37 Norton Electra machine. Thad Wolf out of Newbury Park, California, continues to run a solid 2nd. And then back in that 3rd place spot, Jennifer Brome, although it looks she might be getting lapped here shortly by the race leader, Michael Barnes, on that bright yellow number 80 Lightning motorcycle entry. Let's go to Eric Tritko.
Jennifer Brome has been lapped as they come by. Michael Barnes has cleared off and has got about half the Andretti straight now on Jennifer Brome. It looks like maybe she's losing a little bit of power out of the batteries there, because she definitely looks a little slower up the hill than she has in past. So maybe tapping out. And here's where the electronics kick in, much like in MotoGP, where they go into fuel saving mode in these electric bikes. The computers come in to hold back a little bit of the power to make it to the finish. Pat?
And at turn number 10, Michael Barnes looking to go back-to-back in the TTXGP series here in North America. Up across the line, Barney puts lap number 6 up on the board, less than 2 to go. And again, he's lapped up to the 3rd place rider. Here is Jennifer Brome running in 3rd, but a lap down as she works off at turn number 10 aboard the Mavizin machine, the chassis based on a KTM RC8. And of course, the electronic brain of the motorcycle that controls the power from the battery to the electric motor and ultimately chain drive to the rear wheel. Jennifer Brome, who was 4th at the opening round at Infineon Raceway, 4th at the Road America track during round 2. Looks like she may be on her way to her first podium of the year. Here comes Thad Wolf, the veteran rider. He can still haul around the racetrack, has been running the ARMA Historic Cup races in the United States, got an opportunity to race this electric bike, and he is having a whale of a run here in 2nd. Here is the number 15 machine of Michael Hannes. Not sure what the problem is with Hannes. He had a bit of a problem on the opening lap, still running in 4th and a lap down. And then 5th continues to be Stephen Belknap out of Cincinnati, Ohio, aboard the Square Wave entry. Let's go to Frank Wood up in turn 2. Frank?
For that, Pat, I've got a better vantage point on the here, and hopefully we won't have as much breaking up to go. I was just talking to Dave Hughes off mic there, and wanted to let you know, of course, Dave has been around for quite some time. He's a member of the Vintage Road Race Association, seen lots and lots of races, and getting feedback from the fans at trackside. They're very much enjoying this. Jackie Patterson just mentioning that the lap times we're seeing from Michael Barnes are better than the lap times turned here in 1967 by Mike Halewood on the Honda 6-cylinder. How's that for a comparison?
Well, indeed, the technology marches on. Michael Barnes has just rolled across the line here. The blue and white last lap flag is out at Mosport as he tries to bring it home to win the very first electric bike road race final here in Canada. Barnes on his way. He should have gone by you, Frank.
Indeed, on his way to yet another victory. And boy, I'll tell you what, one of the things that's really hitting home with me, Pat, is we are watching history here as we celebrate Mosport's 50th anniversary. This track, of course, is a bit of history in itself, but this is the future, and the fans are liking it, and they're liking it a lot, Pat. This is going to go far.
Thad Wolf out of turn 10. He'll take the blue and white last lap flag. The leader, Barnes, should be down at Moss Corner. Eric Tritko.
Michael Barnes for the last time underneath the Mobile one side, heading up the Andretti straight for the final time, just about ready to crest the Andretti straight there. There he does. So Michael Barnes cresting the Andretti straight on his way to you, Pat, for the last time, and a great run here for Barnes.
There comes Michael Barnes. He's coming up on another one of the riders into the top of the S's for the Boca Raton, Florida rider on the Lightning motorcycle machine into the minute 35-second lap times in the race. Here comes Barnes out of turn 10. He's on the start-finish straightaway. Checkered flag out, and Michael Barnes has won the inaugural TTX Grand Prix electric bike final here at Mosport as he laps up to the second place machine in a dominating run, picking up the second win of this North American Electric Bike Championship after winning at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin back on June the 6th. Barnes has come back here to win back-to-back at Mosport and will be the points leader going to the final round of the North American Series at VIR, Virginia International Raceway, in the middle of August. Here is Stephen Belknap. Number 16 will bring it home here, I believe, in 5th. Michael Hannes, who's had some kind of a problem with his machine. He was slowed compared to where he was running earlier in the weekend. And looking at Thad Wolf now on that Virginia-based Norton Electric team. It does not even have a gas tank. There's just a flat board on top of the battery compartment. And here comes Thad Wolf. He will grab second, waving to the crowd here on the front straightaway. Thad Wolf across the line will finish in the second place spot. And then he also got around number 23, Jennifer Brome. But Brome out of San Francisco will finish in the third place position aboard the Mavizin machine. And she will notch her very first podium finish after taking fourth at both Infineon Raceway in California in May and Road America at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin in the month of June. And then it will be number 15, Michael Hannes, through here in fourth, and Stephen Belknap on the number 16 machine will finish. We're going to be speaking to you next from the victory podium as we do our presentations to the riders in our inaugural TTX Grand Prix electric bike final. There's Michael Hannes. He will roll across the line here in the fourth place spot. And again, in that race, the fastest lap, I believe, was on lap 3. Michael Barnes, 1 minute 35.278. And as we said, 1973, the first time we were here at Mosport, the track record was 1 minute 37 and change, and it belonged to Yamaha factory rider Jimmy Dunn. And he, of course, was teammates with Stevie Baker. Jim Allen was part of the scene back then. And here we are in 2010, the birth of electric bike racing here in Canada, and the inaugural TTX Grand Prix win goes to Michael Barnes out of Boca Raton, Florida, aboard the Lightning motorcycle entry. So it's back-to-back wins for Barney, and we'll come to you here in just a few minutes as they bring the bikes in for the trophy presentations here just to the west of the Castrol Tower on the Mosport victory podium. Let's send it to Frank and then Eric, and then we'll be with you with the presentation.
Everything worked perfectly this morning, and we could have cranked up the power a little bit, but we were afraid to, not finish then maybe. We didn't want to change anything, so it ran great, and it was really awesome, and I'm really happy with the bike.
So it's great being here, great to be up on the podium. Thank Brian Richardson for building this machine. It came out of I've told the story several times, came out of the sheep farm kitchen in the middle of the winter in Virginia to the racetrack, and it's kind of, using the old Norton featherbed frame, and as opposed to everyone else with more of a modern chassis. We got the old bike, old guy combination team that seems to be working out all right. What we're doing, it's fun and it's interesting and it's new, but hey, it really may be the wave of the future. We may be looking back upon this point in time right now as a significant turning point in history, and who knows?
It's a development curve that's going straight up. The Lightning motorcycle is just, really incredibly fast and fun to ride. And it's a pleasure to be up here in Mosport. It's been 8 years since I've been up here, and I love this place, and I had fun the first time I came, and I had fun today. What do you think the future of these bikes are competitive-wise, and do you think these can ever be the show? And I said, well, I don't know. Whoever thought that MotoGP was going to be 4-strokes either? We couldn't have fathomed that about 10 years ago. So who knows? We'll see.
We've got some hold those trophies up high. We've got some champagne here for our top 3 riders. How about it, Michael Burns, Dan Wilson, Jennifer Moore at 1:15 this afternoon. Enjoy the lunch break. We got a big afternoon of racing coming for you. And Dan Wilson, the veteran of spring champagne.
Won't you take